First, we wanted to introduce ourselves. So right over here, we have the amazing Saeed. He is our business development lead. And I will let Jim introduce himself.
I'm looking forward to the time where I actually have a title like the amazing Saeed. Like, okay, I'm going to see what kind of higher act you're going to do now. My name's Jim Bouse. I'm Director of Enrollment Management and Technology at the University of Oregon. Also, the slashy title is Associate Registrar for Technology. So I work with the Registrar's Office, undergraduate admissions, financial aid and scholarships, student orientation, some of our research and assessment group, and our strategic communications group. So everything from AI to student information systems to data analysis and reporting to CRM systems, lifecycle workflow systems, servers, web stuff, whatever. I'm sure a lot of you get called on, like, whatever is other duties is assigned, get thrown in there too. I've worked at U of O for 27 years, so I've seen a lot of different things happen. Go Ducks! Like, I have my thing here. I have to give the little O kind of thing. You're supposed to, if I was an orientation session, it'd be like biceps, O shape. Okay, there you go. That's how you throw the O. So I was invited here to help. We just went live fairly recently with working with OneOrigin and the team and kind of what we're doing with transcripts and evaluations. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Wanted to make sure that the picture here was the same shirt I'm wearing today, so just more recognizable or something like that too. So stay on brand.
All right, thank you so much, Jim. All right, so my name is Catherine Ricker. I'm here with OneOrigin. I'm the Director of Product Strategy and Success. I've been working in higher education for over a decade, focused on leading student-focused technology initiatives. My most recent work was at Arizona State University, where I led their admissions application redesign, as well as a variety of transfer tool ecosystem project updates. Then based on my experience working within higher education, as well as the vantage point that OneOrigin offers, I've noticed a common theme, which is outdated systems and how they impact and slow down students and staff alike. So today we're really excited to share time with you. We really appreciate you coming to visit with us. And we want to share how AI-powered solutions such as AIRR can eliminate manual processing, freeing up staff time, improve data accuracy, and are transforming transcript evaluation processes. So this is us. We are OneOrigin, in case you were asking yourself, who are these people? We're a global ed tech and AI solutions company. We're headquartered in two places, Scottsdale, Arizona, as well as Bangalore, India. And so what does that mean to you? It means we have teams located across the United States and in India, so we're able to offer 24-hour support 7 days a week, which is not something that everyone has. We were founded in 2015 with a mission distinctly to improve the way higher education institutions leverage technology. And based on that experience that we have being embedded within higher education, we have a deep understanding of the unique challenges that are being faced right now. And we have a really strong focus on data security. So because of that, we're both SOC 2 Type 2 certified and FERPA compliant, and we're working on pursuing ISO and GDPR certifications. So anything that we present to you today, you can be sure, has the highest level of data security and recognition for that. Hold on. Okay, so this is just a quick snapshot. You can see that there are two names at the top. Both there's the AIRR product and digital solutions. What that means, we're going to talk primarily about AIRR today, but AIRR automates our transcript processing, articulation, and data delivery, and we'll get into more details on what that means shortly. But I also wanted to take the time to provide you with an understanding that we also offer digital solutions. So that particular team supports a multitude of projects that are embedded, where we embed our skilled professionals directly onto your teams, working alongside you. So some of our current projects include, topics related to learning management systems, blockchain, and a variety of AI applications. Some of the notable digital solutions partnerships we have are, you may have heard of them, companies like Starbucks, since we're in Seattle, the U.S. Air Force's Air University, Uber, and the Gates Foundation, formerly known as Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And we bring this up because we want you to know that we're experienced in helping institutions to serve diverse projects and diverse student populations, and not just in one area. Today we're going to talk about AIRR, which is more oriented on admissions and registration, but we have a lot of experience all over the student experience, or the student pipeline. So today we're ready and able to support efforts across silos and across teams and bring our holistic approach and deep experience to your institution as well. So as you can see today, I took care to highlight one particular logo over there. You maybe can't read it, but we're really proud of our partners and our collaborations. And one of our standout partners, well, he's over there now, Jim, from the University of Oregon. We're really proud to introduce him. Jim, as you already met, the Director of Enrollment Management Technology, and he can talk about AIRR in action.
Well, one advantage of AI is advanced note-taking systems. So leveraging my human brain. We had some AAU meetings on the University of Washington campus on Saturday, and one of the things it was pretty helpful doing, if you've ever broken up into subgroups and done different things, and the groups get back together and they report out, is we would have somebody either using Otter or other tools kind of sit there and just record on their phone of what everybody talked about and did really brilliant summaries, which made it really nice for people reporting back. And I bring this up because it's just what I want people to focus on. At the end of the session, we'll have time for a question and answer. And I'd really love to hear from others, and also so others in the audience can learn from each other too. When we get to use cases of AI, I mean, that's where really the meat of it. I can think strategic, I can think big, and in the world of enrollment management, what we're doing for our faculty, students. I'm on the AI council for our institution. So we're thinking personal cases. So it might be summarizing meeting notes, getting that, recording that, finding things in webinars where you minute 7:15, this topic that I'm interested in is what was getting talked about. So I don't have to look at the whole 1 hour meeting. To things I use personally when I do information sessions for visiting and prospective students and admitted students and families. I like to learn hey, take this Excel file, take the high schools that all of the kids visiting are from, and column B, high school, fill in column C for whatever their mascot is. And then it's boom, there it is. And there's the mascot of their high school. And I'll go through and memorize those kinds of things and connect with people. But brilliant little uses of AI to make your lives easier. But then what I really want to think about, and we'll have one example here I'll talk about, is how in the world of enrollment management, admissions, financial aid, registrars, whatever other areas orientation you might have in yours, is what are practical use cases? So what are things you have either thought about or maybe what you're in the business of applying? And I'll say intentional uses of AI, because there's a lot of maybe things you're already using in Microsoft Word where something is already predicting what sentence you'll fill in. And those are all AI examples maybe used day to day, but don't think about it intentionally. So towards the end of the session, I would love it if there's people that want to share what are use cases of AI that you either are doing or you're thinking about. And part of that is helping us as higher ed writ large, is expanding our thinking of, don't constrain yourself by this. Maybe we don't even know the questions we need to ask yet, but kind of free our minds a little bit to think outside the box, how we might re-engineer processes, how we take out steps that really don't have value added, and look at what the end goal is and how can we use different tools now and in the future to help achieve those things so we can get better, more predictable, faster service to students and families, make sure advising is happening quicker, make sure things are more accurate. So one of the use case areas that we had was just looking at how can we do course evaluations quicker. So one of our strategic goals at the university right now, we're in the middle of Oregon Rising with our president, about nine months into about a 10-year sort of plan. So we're looking at one of our main areas that admissions registrars is falling into is better time or shorter time, more effective time to degree completion. So that's where something like course evaluation falls in. And we have about 1,300 or so transcripts that we bring in every year via EDI, so electronic data interchange. We have that come in, we upload those automatically. We still have to have a human match those. We still have to have them marked as ready for articulation and going through the system. So we wanted to say, what are all the transcripts we're still scanning from paper that get mailed to us? What are all the PDF transcripts that come into us via various services? National Student Clearinghouse, Parchment, Greenlight, lots of others. How do we take that and make it easier? So on our side, we're thinking we've got limited, even though, no matter how big you are, you always have limited IT resources. So analysts, programmers, and trying to fight to get their time, they inevitably have a list of top 1 through 20 projects on campus. And you, or maybe some of your worthy things always fall on the list of 21 to 50 worthy projects that keep getting pushed down and suppressed by more things coming into the top 20 all the time. So one of our guiding things was, what can we do that will require minimal institutional IT time? Maybe we'll need a little bit for a couple little chasms we need to cross. So we're looking at who can we engage as a partner to really effectively use AI. I'll walk you through our process here. Won't go into everything about how we selected OneOrigin yet. So what we do is we only do course evaluations right now for students we admit. So we consciously made that decision, and that might be something we're going to revisit based on how quickly this can happen. And that was more of a time constraint on person and personnel time, but also maybe just the sheer amount of university IDs we might attach to a person record. So we bring those in, they come into our system, we park them until such a time it checks like once, twice a day, looks against our system to see, do I have somebody you've indexed this with to a match? And a lot of this is, if it's a digital service, we're auto-indexing it. It's looking at a match in our student information system. If we do have that match, then it's going, this is your University of Oregon ID, and then it's going to sit there and wait until, oh, that student now is admitted. Once that's free, we send that transcript up to the cloud. OneOrigin with AIRR then strips all the data from it. And one of the things that we had that they worked with us to do was we wanted that in EDI data format on the way back, because we already had a system built to ingest that data. There are other ways you can do it, either direct. You could work with that to do direct PeopleSoft to where you need to go direct to Banner. Please inform me if I'm cashing checks your bodies aren't willing to cash. So, or I'm writing checks rather. So we brought that back, and the key piece with that is we were delivering the metadata with the University of Oregon ID and the first name, last name we had in our system. So in that EDI format, we're getting back the ID as the University of Oregon ID, first name, last name, just like we have in our system. Bring it back, that loads into our SIS, which is a Lucian Banner. And then now we skip the part where a person has to then match that. So that was always fraught with peril. And somebody doing the detective work for, does this John Smith match one of these other 38 John Smiths in our system? And did you pick the right one? But now we've got that UID, absolute slam dunk match, automate that piece. Don't have a person do that, because you know how much trouble it is to go clean up a record that was misassigned somewhere. And also then, of course, you've got the marked ready for articulation. Somebody goes to this screen, looking at our workflow program. They've got a transcript comes in as a task. They need to do a course evaluation, articulate that credit. And this screen, you've got our student information system, and it goes, this student, you've got it available. Please load the data. Please articulate the data. And we've got all of our course evaluations in our system for all schools, and then done. Go on to degree audit, produce that, send that back to the student, make it ready for advisors. So of course, the two things, the big one there is nobody's having to manually match them. And you just imagine how many transcripts you get in, how much time is spent doing that. And then also it reduces that human error. And the same thing with, of course, keying in all the data, course data, subject, all that kind of stuff. So you're saving immense amounts of time. So what we're really appreciating is the speed. So the speed of, I just want to stop for a second and just recognize that students and families coming to us that are continuously growing up with the expectations of every technological service they're using in the rest of the world sets that bar from what they expect from us. And we usually are way behind the times on that. So they come in with those expectations. We're getting a little closer to meeting them, especially on speed. Like, I just sent that thing to you. How long does it take you to do that? So this really speeds that up, gives accurate data, really goes towards making sure that course evaluation, academic advising, course selection, meeting prereqs faster, getting people into the right courses. not reducing the frustration of somebody getting into the wrong course or having to take a duplicative course they didn't really need to. So look at this as decreasing student indebtedness, trying to get people to degree faster. And then another thing that I think all of us need to think about, so again, keep in mind thinking about use cases, how you're thinking about using AI in your campus, where could you fit it in? I'd love to hear those ideas and share those. The other one we really need to think about is, and some of you may feel like, oh, I've got lots of things here, is once you do save that human time, there's some anxiety on staff of, are you thinking about replacing me? Are our robot overlords here now? And they've arrived earlier than I thought. But so think about where would you like to place that student or that staff time to something that has higher human value. So they get rid of that rote processing and that time consuming that really does nothing more than you're just entering stuff. So where do you get that higher value human thinking? You may have that list of worthy projects 21 through 50 that you can finally get to and free up some time. Or it may just be, with taking away this time, we can focus on actual student service and time and clients where humans may be a lot more perceptive of, I can engage and look at you and say, Jeff, you're here, I can focus on you, I've got a little more time, I've got a little more time for kindness, for empathy, for sussing out maybe what the true question is behind your question. And this doesn't turn into a hurry, on to the next student because we don't know that this interaction might be the straw that broke the camel's back and you decided to ghost out and we just lost a student and one more student we didn't retain because we didn't realize that interaction was going to be the last important one we ever had. With that, I'll move on to some other things here. We'll definitely hit up different questions and kind of look at, I've got other ideas for the future and different things too, but I really want to hear yours. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. So now that we have an idea of how the University of Oregon has approached, AI automation and integration with AIRR, I want to give you guys a better snapshot of, okay, well, what is AIRR and what is it doing and how does it work? Because that seems the next question that I would want if I were in your shoes. Okay, so just as a quick snapshot, I want to provide more insight on how AIRR functions. So AIRR has essentially, I've simplified this into a 4-step framework. The first, we transcribe the information we receive from the transcripts. Then second, we transform the data. So this is where we also can apply custom business logic based on the data that we receive, based on how your school processes things. So there could be different populations, different sub-segments that you want to do different things with. We can do that here based on your unique needs. And then what we also do is we can articulate and identify any known transfer credits at this time. So anything that your institution already identifies as transferable, we can go ahead and port that off to your information systems immediately at the time of processing the transcripts. And then, of course, we deliver data directly into your current systems, wherever they are. So what does this mean? Well, that eliminates manual work, it standardizes data handling, and it integrates directly into your existing systems. So it's not like another system that you have to take, you have to consider adding in, that big headache with IT. We're designed to adopt each institution's workflows. So we come to you and you tell us what you need and we customize our solution to tailor meet your needs specifically. So each AIRR instance is a little bit different and that's by design. That's what our product is. Our business model is to customize AIRR to meet your specific needs, not just provide one box that fits all, because we know the truth is every institution is a little bit different. And now I'm going to provide a deeper dive into what this means, because I think you'll start to see opportunities or ideas of what this could mean for you. All right, so starting with AI-driven transcription, we eliminate manual data entry with really high precision. Our technologies that we use include computer vision, intelligent character recognition, which you might have heard of OCR, this is ICR, it goes a couple steps further, natural language processing, and machine learning. So we also handle all the standard transcript types, so high school, college, domestic, international, official, unofficial, and best of all, we don't require any templates, 0 templates at all. And so what does that mean? Well, the ICR technology that we use also overcomes common challenges that other competitors might struggle with, things like watermarks, blurriness, or unconventional formats. We can accommodate that others may not be able to. And one of the differentiators that we offer compared to some of the competitors you might learn about at this conference, we guarantee 100% of the data that is there will be captured. I'll say that again, 100% of the data that is there will be captured. And because it's AI, it's always self-improving. So it becomes faster and it becomes more accurate over time the more information it digests, or ingests, I guess is a better word.
Catherine, I was going to say, sorry.
Yeah, jump in.
I was going to say one thing I was impressed by. We all know the variation across transcripts, just in the U.S. We're not even talking international transcripts yet, which is an option we have in our contract to exercise. And we also have another option we haven't gotten to yet for high school transcripts, and doing all the custom logic around how many years of different things and grade point averages for different things. But one thing I was impressed by is the variation in college transcripts. In courses and weird repeat things and subject codes and all that, and just refining and reiterating and getting that done. But also just something as simple as, well, seemingly simple as, what's the name of this institution this transcript's coming from? So you've got things like FICE codes, SEEB codes, and everything that are standardized at the federal government level, and but you'll have something that'll be like, it'll have Rochester University, the Rochester University, New York. Have all these variations. So sometimes it just in a list of like a table of looking at variations, you might have 3 or 4 different names and versions for a school to make sure it matches. One that I was as impressed with AIRR pulled off that I'm like, whoa, didn't even expect this, was Harvard doesn't have their name on their transcripts. From what I can see, there's no the Harvard University, or any of this kind of stuff, but it accurately picked up the watermark in the background of the kind of seal of Harvard's seal and translated that to Harvard. I was like, whoa, didn't even think it was going to do that or pull that off, but it did.
I did not know that, but that's pretty rad. So, yeah, the AI transcription is really tight. It's really strong. And as Jim was speaking to, the data transformation that we offer, that's where like the bulk of the customization comes in.
How to do that?
So when we say data transformation, I mean, we get the data directly from the transcript, it's transcribed, and then we can transform it and do things with it and turn it into other data depending on what you need. So we call this custom business logic. So if you hear that word, we're just turning the data however you want. We adapt that to your institutional needs, and some of those could include things that you do every day, GPA calculations. We can easily do weighted, unweighted, cumulative, last term, last 60 credits. We can also do things with course categorizations. We can identify STEM courses, non-STEM, foreign language, AP honors really quickly. And if your institution would like, we can mix those two together. We can come up with your STEM and your non-STEM GPAs, unweighted, last 60, whatever you want to do. Once we have the data, we can transform it however you'd like and however it's helpful to your business processes. Additionally, things like credit conversions, we can align to international standards, or if there are custom institutional formats that you like to work with, we're happy to do that too. And this is what we do for every single partner that we work with. So we're very experienced, and probably you'll be using a lot of the same resources that a lot of our clients do, so it's really quick for us to implement. Now moving on to AI-driven transfer articulation. This is another topic that is of distinction of something that we offer. So like I mentioned, AIRR identifies transferable credits using AI and your institution's articulation database, or data set if maybe it just lives on an Excel document, or if you don't have it, we can work on that. We can seamlessly integrate with things like tests, UAchieve, and other articulation tools. And we offer 2 articulation database options. So either you already have an external database or system that you're using that we can just integrate and help update your existing articulations and then capture those as soon as transcripts come in. Or you can have your articulation database based in AIRR. So that's where we can host it within AIRR, allowing in our user interface for you to update any edits or bulk uploads to your AIR instance, and it applies to all transcripts coming and moving forward. So, your team doesn't have to spend time recalculating any already known transferable courses. And the data delivery is that little dude over there. It's very important, but it's pretty simple. We deliver the data wherever and however you want it. So we can have real-time integration with any of your key systems that currently exist. So your student information system, your degree audit system, your CRM, custom databases, and as we mentioned maybe a little bit before, whatever file format you want, we can provide that to you. So whether you want like GIM, EDI, or you have an API, or you have JSON, CSV, XML, whatever you want, we can get it to you in whatever format. And so what does this mean to you and your institutions? Well, faster transcript processing and improved accuracy provides streamlined workflows, and it frees up a lot of time for your staff. So here's the advantage, the AIR advantage, and as well as AI-powered advantage. One of our number one ones is no templates. So AIR reads any transcript format that has previously been described, and it eliminates a lot of rigidity and persistent staff review requirements. A lot of the other comparable products on the market, they might do well with getting data if it's a template that they have, but if it's a new template, you have to do it manually, or maybe it does part of the document but not all of it. At AIR, we guarantee all of it. So if a person can read the transcript, AIR can capture the data. This is something that saves a lot of time. If you're buying AI, don't you want AI to do the full thing, full enchilada? And another benefit of AI is its continuous learning. AI improves with every use, especially around things like grading scales and layouts. So it's just gonna get smarter and quicker over time. And as we mentioned, the 100% data capture means that there's no partial extraction you have to worry about with your staff. We capture everything, reducing errors and the follow-up work that would otherwise need to take place. The result then is more efficient processes, better data accuracy that allows staff to focus on that higher value work, that human connection that Jim was talking about, and reduces staff's burden of rote data entry. It's not very fun. I don't know anyone who really loves that, but it also improves the student experience because it's quicker, and it can help support your enrollment goals. As we move forward, I'm going to introduce my colleague Saeed to go and provide you guys a little more granular detail and a demonstration.
Right, so I'm not going to run over the slides. I know there's too much slides to go through. I'll just get into the demo. That's more interesting. We're running short of time. All right, so we talked about transcripts, the experience there. I just want you guys to virtually experience how it works. Right, so we have 3 modules: high school, college transfer, and international. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are not seeing this.
No, Saeed, no pressure. We've already billed you as the amazing Saeed, so.
All right, so we have 3 modules: high school, college, and international. So I would just like to show an college transcript transcript. So we have a transcript, we are uploading it, and once we do it, all the AI elements get into the picture. The OCR gets performed along with the ICR capabilities. If you see on the left-hand side, there's college transcript coming from Grand Valley University. All the data from the transcript gets extracted, starting from your student details, college details, academic records, everything you wanted from the transcript. Now, let's say I publish this data back into your system. It will ask me, do you want to apply a custom logic? I know we talked about a lot when it comes to custom logic. To explain you in a very simple way, custom logic is something, any manual data calculation or data manipulation you do using your own set of formulas that can be custom trained to the AI model. And that will perform on your behalf with your any sort of manual intervention. So let's say for a college transfer, I would like to apply a logic where it could calculate the course equivalencies mapping. Here, you would have already checked with your articulation database, and there you go. These are your transferable courses for student coming here, followed by the academic credits. So this is how the custom logic works. We would custom train the model to do it. And in this case, when it comes to transferable courses, we have already checked with your articulation database to match the course equivalencies. And from here, I publish the data. The data would be pushed back to your respective CRM and SIS. So here's the thing, right? All the data which is out there on the transcript is not required for your evaluation. We're going to provide you a list of data fields which you want us to publish back into your CRM and SIS. So at the time of publishing the data, we're only going to push the data which is required for your evaluation criteria. And one I'm going to show for high school as well, which could recalculate the GPA. We have weighted, unweighted, and could also categorize your AP, IB, and oral courses. So the data gets extracted, all the information coming out from the transcript. I would apply a custom logic which would recalculate the GPA, and we have already custom trained the model with those set of formulas, and that are the formulas the model is using currently, where it could get your weighted, unweighted GPAs along with the programs of honors, AP, and IB courses. So again, pushing back the data into your systems, just one transcript on international. We currently follow Acro Edge for the international transcripts to get converted to the grade point, and we also follow School AIRR as well, in case a lot of universities use that standards as well. So international transcript, we currently process English international transcripts, but do not translate any different languages transcripts as of now, but you never know in the future. So I want to apply logic on recalculating the GPA based on the US standards, where they would refer those standards for the current evaluation. And here you go, you could calculate your US GPA, and that would do for all of your course code following the student transcript. So that's simple how it works. And there is no manual intervention you would require in terms of training the model, any template-based training, as Catherine mentioned, right? We currently are a format agnostic model. We do not follow any template-based training. Any transcript right now, we can download it through Google and we can still get about more than 85 to 90% accuracy. That's how good we are. And I know, we talked about 100% accuracy. That's something too good to be true. But how do we do it is, let's say a transcript, has been uploaded. We use all the elements of AI. We use computer vision, NLP, advanced natural language processing, ICR, and the machine learning techniques. We use 3 different techniques in machine learning: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. So with the help of these AI elements, we're able to extract data. Let's say we get about 85% data, and the rest 15% is where our data integration model comes into the picture, where they help the model to train itself for the rest 15%, so that gradually, once you start using the model, it gets better eventually. So any transcript, even if that is 99%, will not be in the process stage, because it will still remain in progress until and unless it reaches the 100% accuracy for the data to leave the system and get into your CRM and SIS. Any questions? I know we're running out of time.
So I'll answer a question. I think if I was just watching this and didn't know more, is that every time you've watched, say, you click on something or click publish or click apply this custom logic, you could do that and you could have your staff do that for every single one, but you can also automate it and say, yes, I'd like this applied to every single one of them. So nobody's got to intervene. You could have stacking up hundreds of transcripts in there, and they're all going to apply the custom logic. They're all going to publish when they meet a certain parameter that you establish. So it's not like you're going to have somebody go in there and click every single one, 3 different buttons, and wait for each one.
Absolutely. So for the initial few weeks, the time you go live, we want you guys to have a look at the data coming out of this AI engine, right? Just for you to get that confidence that, yes, we can auto-publish the data coming out of this. So you don't have to come onto the AIRR dashboard. The data would be automatically sent to your CRM and SIS. Yes, please.
So if your articulation table is not 100% going into this process, we just got see an error, and our articulation tables for S weren't where they need to be, and it's been 3 months since integration. And we're still struggling.
Yeah, so, sorry, my name is Anand, I'm heading the product for OneOrigin. So that's a continuous process, when you don't have the articulation itself, you need to build articulation. I don't think there's any magic out there, where you can probably get that particular thing going, right? So there are two options. One is, test is, the way it is built good. Obviously, we have established a process of creating those specific tickets or the task within test where you can go ahead and attend and publish those specific things that's working directly with test. If you have your own articulation database, which Catherine was talking about earlier, we have also worked with source of course catalog data in order to build the articulation within your, specific to your university itself, So that's one way to go about it. But in terms of where the struggle is most times how well established it is right now, or how well the data is available in test if you're using test for that matter. So since there is a dependency on the external system, it will always have to be depending upon how much of the data is getting built, from transferable data that is getting built, from a technology point of view within this point. So it is going to take time, in order to kind of establish that, what I can say, the database itself, it is going to take time. Yeah.
And there are very two scenarios where I've experienced with all of the universities is what happens if there are no equivalency to be found after checking with the articulation database. And second one is what happens if we come across multiple equivalency for the same particular course. So in both the scenario, there is a workflow created, the registrar team would be notified, and that particular transcript would be flagged for review. But your team might come here, probably check the course description, send it to the faculty, get the equivalency. If they might have to get the equivalency for that particular course, they might have to manually enter that particular equivalency for once. And once you do it, the AIRR will use the reinforcement engine to retrain itself, and it will also update your articulation tables for the future reference. You don't have to do that anymore in the future. And same goes for the multiple equivalency. You will be given an option to select the right suitable one, and then AIRR will retrain itself for the future reference too.
Yeah, we've been doing that. The biggest problem we've been running into is we're a semester school, four-based school, we're running into a road, which all of Washington is quarter-based, based on Washington. But, so we're that 2-to-1 ratio, we're running into big trouble with that one, and a lot of our learners come in from quarter-based schools. So those right now, in the here and now, we're not even running through AIRR. We're just doing those on manually at this point.
You could run through AIRR as well, so you don't have to do that manually every time.
But I think when you have tests in the ecosystem, we'll have to work with that. So,
Yeah.
But I'll definitely, I'm not into the details, but I'll be happy to have a conversation to take a little bit more deeper look into it and see what else can we do in order to kind of eliminate that. So, but to the point, accuracy of the articulation system is important in order to success. We can increase the pace at which we can build the database, but I don't think there's any magic wand to say that they can just work from day one. So absolutely not. I don't want to set up any wrong expectations, but it can definitely accelerate in terms of how fast can we build it. Yeah.
Yeah, we were under the assumption when we bought CS, I call it CS, sorry.
Yeah.
I know it's AIRR.
Yeah.
That the articulation table would be corrected as when we would have to do those one-to-one equivalencies. And now we're going through and deal, because we accept transcripts from all over the nation.
Yeah.
And so as whatever all the registrars do. So it's just, you have to evaluate every single college catalog out there that may come to work with this equivalency.
So I mean, I'll just share one more thing, right? We spoke about our experience that Catherine kind of just brought in earlier. We do provide, we do work upon some specialized projects per se. ASU has one of the initiatives, they call it as the triangulator, which is we are building that specific system for them. They are piloting that with specific set of universities per se. This is a problem that they have been trying to solve for the last 1.5 years. It's being sponsored by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in a way. It's again, the thing is about the complexity that is involved overall in building the articulation system based upon multiple colleges per se. Take for example, I have equivalency between A to B, B to C. why can I automatically build agency like equivalency because I already have built in. So there are always courses that doesn't fall into that Venn diagram itself in a way where it gets complex. So there has to be some level of involvement until we get to that level of how do I say a mapping that is achieved in order for us to say that like, I think most of the transcript should be able to process. But we can increase or accelerate the pace at which we can build the articulation. But will it be 100% in a way? Always there will be a transcript that will be coming from one of the university or college which is not in the list currently per se. So it will happen. It's going to take some amount of time for sure in order to get to that level itself. Yeah. So
just to confirm, do you guys have a partnership with College Source to access tests? You mentioned tests.
No, we have an integration that is built in, but we are going to leverage your subscription essentially. So when I say you continue to have a relationship with College Source, what we do is we just take the API keys and integrate AIR with test. Yeah. So we don't get into like reseller agreement with the test, nothing of that.
Yeah, basically, if you have an integration that you're currently supporting, we can integrate with them. Or if you're pulling it into your system, we can integrate with your system so that we can, however it works, every integration is a little bit different. But we can make sure that the data that you have access to, AIR has access to reference so that we're all in the same ecosystem. And we do take on the, as much as you allow us to, the burden of doing integration and making sure that it meets your needs, because I know everyone is strapped, especially if you have a distinct unit in your institution that does IT. We work with them and also try to help as much as we can to take on that load. Sure.
Yeah, I just wondered, what is your guys' pricing model? Is it different for like one price for all or like small colleges?
Well, and I think that might be well served. Is it okay if we get through the presentation and we tackle that at the end?
So, I think we are at booth 600. You can come and stop by us. We can talk more about that. Yeah.
We do, I think it's to 2:30, right? We have till 2:30?
220.
2:20. Okay, I'm just gonna try to get through a couple things real quick, and then we'll go right back to your question. I know Saeed would be happy to answer that question. So just really quickly, I just wanted to visually highlight, we have a lot of existing integrations that we offer that you can see listed here. This list is always growing because every single organization has different systems that they integrate with. So just because you don't see something that you work with here doesn't mean that we don't integrate with it. It just means we maybe haven't done it yet. And we wanted to provide a couple examples of the types of business logic that we do support. So here you can see, these are the high school module business logic, because it's a little bit different between high school and college. It's a little bit small, but you can see like core course identification, transcript type handling, academic tiering, so that's like categories like AP, IB honors, weighted and unweighted, graduation GPA, and academic term calculations. We also offer a wide variety, so if you're particularly interested, I can provide you with a list of some of the customizations that our current clients have used that we can talk about in further detail. And then there's college, so like equivalency mapping is a hot topic that we talked about today. Not everyone uses it. Like if you're on the grad side, that may not be totally applicable. We have a representative here, Sean from St. Cloud University, and they don't use it frequently, but we also do like program GPA, credit-based, transfer credits, duplicate coursework, degree type recognition, all that good stuff. And we did the AIR demo. Another thing that we wanted to talk to you guys about today are upcoming opportunities that we think might be of interest to you. So we wanted to talk about what's coming next, and we're building something called TransferMe. This is an AI-powered tool for transfer students. So using the framework of AIR, we're thinking, what can we do with this data that we can easily acquire? And it helps us to answer one of the #1 questions I'm sure you all hear from students, which is, will my credits transfer, right? Right now, students have to typically apply, pay, and wait several weeks to find out which of their which causes stress and drop-off, and it's difficult for institutions at scale to prioritize pre-admissions transfer credit evaluations because your staff is busy working on post-admissions transfer evaluations. And TransferMe helps to change that. Students can upload transcripts themselves, so we're mobile-friendly on your phone. They can get on 24/7, and we can help build trust early in the process. It's It also offers a unique value to institutions who use it, such as lead generation. So you can connect with a student before they apply, which means really early on in the inquiry process, you can identify all of the students who are interested in coming to your institution, which means you can reach out to them, you can help them, you can support them. We can provide recruitment data, so you can see what types of students are interested in coming before they come and what they want, as well as advisor tools, so staff can review and even provide custom information in that user interface, like advisors or college enrollment coaches. And TransferMe works either standalone tool or within AIR, so it's also FERPA and SOC compliant. We plan to launch this summer, and we're really excited to give you a preview, but if you want to learn more, again, we're in exhibit hall booth 600, and we're happy to talk to you more about it in detail. Okay, so, anything else? Go. Video. So students come, and they can upload their transcripts from their phone or from a desktop. Then we have them create accounts. So you're going to get their email and all of the standard fields that are in a request for information, standard to higher education. So you can make a qualified lead or reach out to them. Then we process their information, and it's AI, so it might not be perfect the first time around, but we highlight areas that we think may be inaccurate, and we have students go ahead and fix it. And up at that right-hand corner, we identify the likely transferable credits. Doesn't mean it's 100% transferable, but just highlighting what could likely take place so that they can have awareness before they go ahead and apply. And then we have a portal for them to take a look at that. Again, the likely transferable credits are all the stuff that's in your transfer articulation database. We can figure out what kind of student they are and figure out their likely tuition amount and give them estimated savings. And then after they do this, we have next steps, like FERPA, apply for your application, all the good stuff that you would want them to have access to. Okay. Well, keeps going. So cool. So that's TransferMe. It's coming out soon. If you'd like to learn more, please let us know. And we've reached, I believe, the end of our presentation. And I am going to pass it off to Saeed to answer the question that was stated earlier.
Yeah, regarding the pricing, it depends on what modules you want to onboard and the number of transcripts you have. We actually have two associates when it comes to pricing. One is the one-time implementation cost, and the second is the subscription the model works on based on the number of transcripts you process annually.
So we presented a lot of information for you today. We're happy to answer questions about AIR specifically, OneOrigin. We had, we discussed a little tangent projects that we're working on, which Anand mentioned about like that triangulator that ASU is working on. Implementation we're working on is called Course Matcher. And we also, of course, have Jim who can directly talk to you about his experiences with AIR. We also have Sean from St. Cloud State University in Minnesota, who can also speak to his experience. So we have an undergraduate implementation of AIR, and we have a graduate implementation of AIR. So if you have any questions, we have all the people here to try and answer them to the highest degree we can.
And booth 600, please come and stop.
Yeah, please feel free to come and stop by our booth 600. We're more than happy.
We have candy and pens. Thank you all. And again, if you want to take part in our raffle, let us know.
All right. Good job, Saeed. All right, you did awesome.
Thank you.
I saw Miss Patty out here, I gotta say. Oh my God, you look good.
How are you?
So good to see you.
So good to see
It's
you.
been a while.
I know. You did awesome. This is amazing.
It was like, and there's so much more I can do. And one thing